Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome to today's video, and in today's video we are taking a look at the IKELOS SMG. This of course is returning to the game alongside the first in last out shotgun and a bunch of other weapons. You can see our roll right here. We've got tactical mag, threat detector and tap the trigger, and small bore. Obviously reload masterwork, not the best, but this was the best one I had to drop for me so far. And yeah, this thing is a bit of a beast. I've always been a fan of the IKELOS SMG going back to year one of Destiny 2. I could never quite put my finger on what makes this thing so nice, but compared to other 750s, I don't know, if I was to describe this weapon, I would say it behaves more like a 600 RPM SMG than a 700 RPM SMG, and maybe that's what makes it so nice, or 750 rather. It has a really nice clear sight, great red dot sight. It's very stable, and also the range on this thing just seems to push out further than other 750 SMGs. I can't quite put my finger on it, but it was always a great weapon. Going back to Destiny 2 year one, I really enjoyed using the gun. So obviously I know not everyone's a fan of weapons being brought back, but in this case I personally was really quite impressed and quite pleased to see this thing come back. And in the gameplay, obviously we're rocking that Peacekeeper bottom tree striker build, which in my opinion, if you ever wondered to yourself what's the best SMG setup in the game, it is for sure bottom tree striker with Peacekeepers. Obviously, Peacekeepers give you so many benefits when using an SMG, increase movement speed, increase everything, dude. You think about it, Peacekeepers basically makes SMGs nutty. Everything about them just feels so much better. And obviously when you stow it, it automatically gets reloaded. You have quick draw, you know, all of this kind of shit. It just makes it really nice. We were pairing it up with a couple of different weapons, but mainly in the gameplay, you're just going to be seeing IKELOS SMG only. And obviously, like I said, bottom tree striker, really good with this class. Obviously the knockout perk, when you break a shield, you get increased melee range, which is really good for the SMG melee combo. And then when you get a melee on someone and you have a charged melee, you get frontal assault active, which gives you more damage and stability for your weapon, and auto reloads the weapon, might I add, which goes really well with Peacekeepers, obviously. So yeah, if you're ever wondering what's the best SMG setup in the game to run, it is for sure the setup that I'm running right now. Now in this gameplay right here, we're doing pretty decent. Again, you can see knockout coming in clutch. We've now got frontal assault active for a couple of seconds. I want to try and find someone before it runs out. I do believe the damage goes up to 27 to the head with frontal assault active. It normally hits around 22 to the head. And yeah, the SMG, the IKELOS SMG is just a melt machine. And it allows you to play slightly differently to like other SMGs of this archetype, because you don't really need to be right in their face to be effective with it. By the way, I just got suppressed out of a super. I guess that's years of karma being built up against me, but hey, listen, it happens, man. It happens, you know. We push forward, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, so it's kind of different to other 750s in the sense that you don't need to be right up in their face, which is really nice. And I think for me personally, like whenever I'm rocking something long range in the kinetic slot, I think I've been using a translation theory sidearm, which is pretty nice. But as far as SMG goes in the energy slot, there's really not too many good weapons to choose from. I think there was the Moon SMG, which is 600 RPM, that was decent. And aside from that, nothing really in there, man, unless you still like using Recluse. But obviously I am way over using Recluse at this point. I can't speak for you guys, but yeah, Recluse hella old for me at this point. So yeah, I'm kind of glad that this thing is in the game. You can see right there, look at that range. Really nice, really stable, does a lot of damage, melts people. And yeah, I think on a mouse and keyboard setup as well, it probably has even more range. But even on controller, obviously controller is typically, wow, we just got shoulder charged by Danny California. Sometimes, man, you just get shoulder charged. But yeah, typically this thing is something of an outlier. So I'm a big fan. If I was to be negative about the weapon in any way, it would be the perk pool. Pretty underwhelming. The best roll you can probably get is dynamic sway reduction and tap the trigger. We got one of those perks, and honestly, just having one of these perks, it feels really good to use. So yeah, perk pool not the best. I'm not sure why they are being kind of stingy with these new perks, Killing Wind and all those. I'm not sure why they didn't put Killing Wind on, you know, the shotgun or the SMG that I'm using. Could you imagine Killing Wind opening shot on first in last out? That would be desirable as fuck. Oh, by the way, so I did do a video on the first in last out. I'm not sure if a lot of you saw it because it didn't get sent out to notifications or sub notifications or whatever. So maybe you didn't see it, but I did do a video on the first in last out. And I was pretty critical because, you know, it doesn't roll quick draw or snapshot or full auto. 3 perks I think are really, really valuable on a legendary slug shotty, but I have thought about it some more. I looked at the perk pool and there is a roll on the first in last out shotgun that is super good actually, but it requires basically a perfect roll. A lot of RNG involved. That being said, it's not too hard to farm umbral engrams at this point, so you should be able to get hold of this roll. And the roll is, and I know it's not related to SMG video, but they kind of, you know, they both come from the same engram, right? So they're kind of linked somehow, these weapons. But basically the roll on the shotgun would be this: fluted barrel, assault mag, side shot, opening shot, and a handling masterwork. If you get a fluted barrel and a handling masterwork, that would almost max out the handling on the weapon, which would make it feel kind of snappy, not quick draw snappy or snapshot snappy, but it would be nice on the gun. And then assault mag, taking the RPM up to 70 RPM is really, really nice. And then obviously side shot and opening shot. So if you're still wondering and chasing a first in last out roll, that would be the roll. When I get my hands on that roll, we're going to revisit the weapon and do another video on the first in last out. So keep an eye out for that. Now for the IKELOS SMG, I did just tell you, obviously I think the best roll is dynamic sway and tap the trigger. However, the one that I have has threat detector and tap the trigger. And honestly, I don't really see the dynamic sway tap the trigger being that much better than this one. It will be better a little bit, but I don't think it's super necessary basically for you to get that god roll. However, with the first in last out, if you don't cop that roll that I just mentioned, like, there is no point using that weapon. Honestly, it's just not good. The lack of handling options really makes it disappointing. However, fluted barrel and a handling masterwork will go a long way. So like I said, if you're thinking about getting that shotty, that is the roll to go for. If you want me to do another video on that when I get my hands on that roll, no problem at all, I can do that. And yeah, for now, obviously we are in a game of Rumble on Pacifica. You can see there, knockout on bottom tree, strike is so good. We're going to focus a little bit more on what is happening in this lobby. I did switch to Arbalest in this match. Forgive me for I have sinned, but I think Arbalest, IKELOS SMG, that's a pretty tasty combination right there. If you're looking for something to pair with a long range weapon in the kinetic slot, then your energy SMGs, you've really got a big contender here with the Arbalest boys and the IKELOS SMG. We just spawned up and panic slammed a kid because, you know, no shame. And now it looks like we are going on a journey. We are stomping around the map trying to find some, ooh, there's heavy. Somebody is trying to pick up this heavy. We're going to meet them there and be like, saw dude. And then we're going to yoink that heavy and probably never use it. But hey, never say never. Super's about to run out. We have sword ammo. Let's sword some kids. Okay, we got some running guys in a straight line. Oh, okay, that's awkward. Oh, but he had a sword too. Oh, unlucky man. There's only room for one sword master in this lobby, and it's me, buddy. He's in hammer. Oh, he's run out. Unlucky. Headshot him with the Arbalest. Jump over that kid's head real quick. Oh dear, oh dear. Put up our wall. We're being pushed now. We bodied him. He must have been really weak. I don't know how we killed him with a one body shot, but hey, I'm not going to question it, man. I am not going to question it. Now being straight lined, oof. See that range right there? That is where this weapon is pretty much at its peak. That kind of range, just at a shoddy range. And yeah, if you catch someone in that area and they come at you in a straight line, very, very easy kill, man. You'll be killing them all day, every day. Need one more kill. This guy has a sword. He's hiding around the corner. I have an Arbalest and an SMG. I mean, if I was him, I would be straight lining me. Okay, he's going for it. I'm getting out of there. Somebody else going to be on his left-hand side as he pushes out. And nope, he is dead, I believe. And here we go. This is the guy who killed him. We're going to punch him in the mouth. And we go for some hip fire shots. Nope, we get ruinous effigied up the butt. And a little teabag to finish. So guys, there is the IKELOS SMG. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button, and I will see you guys in the next video. Oh, and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate it. Peace out, boys.